welcome back to the Camp Men Show. I'm your host, Father Stephen Logue, chaplain of Lancaster Catholic High School. Welcome to anyone who's new. Welcome back to those who are returning. If you are new, check out our old videos. We've got 2 whole seasons before this one for you to watch and a whole nother show that I host. But today, we have a fun topic. We are going to talk about aliens. What does the church do about aliens? What do we do if we find aliens? And the big question that we always get asked, would you baptize an alien? Now, there's a couple questions we have to get to understand what we would do with an alien, because we might find aliens that are just microbes. We're looking for aliens on Mars. We're looking for evidence of life. Maybe they're just tiny little single cells. Would we baptize those? No, we don't baptize single cells here on Earth. Maybe we'd find a planet or maybe even somewhere on the ice moons of Jupiter. We might find some simple life, some simple animal type life. Would we baptize those? No, we don't baptize animals here on Earth. So would we baptize an alien? We sort of have to ask the question, why do we baptize humans? And what is it about humans that needs this sacrament of baptism? Well, we know right from the beginning that humans are made in the image and likeness of God. Now, that doesn't mean that God has a nose and ears and eyes and a body and two arms, 2 legs. At least he didn't when he made us. So what did it mean to be in his image and likeness? Well, what we understand it to mean is that we have an intellect and a will. And those are kind of big, fancy, philosophical words, but to have an intellect means to be able not just to be smart and to know things, but in this context, having an intellect means to know what is good. We're able to look at different things and determine that's good and that's bad. Animals can't do that. Microbes can't do that. And to have a will means being able to choose what is good. To say, this is good, this is not. I'm going to choose the good thing. And I should be expected to choose the good thing. So, if we come across aliens who maybe come to Earth or we come to them, and they seem to have an intellect and a will, they're able to know the good and choose the good, then they are in the image and likeness of God, and we're going to preach the gospel to them. In some ways, it's not too different from Christian missionaries going to far-flung corners of the world, bringing the truth of the faith and trying to teach people about it. There's actually a really cool book about this sort of thing. Now, there's an academic-y book that's kind of fun questions called Would You Baptize an Extraterrestrial? But then there's another book, a series of books, called The Space Trilogy, written by C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia. And C.S. Lewis wanted to write a space trilogy, but he very much wanted God to be a part of his space trilogy, a space story, because he was a devout Christian. And so his first book is called Out of the Silent Planet. Now, there's a little spoiler for that, so skip ahead in the video if you don't want to hear the spoiler for this book, because the whole series is great. He kind of asked the question, what if we built a spaceship, we go to Mars, and when we get there, we find intelligent life? But the intelligent life there says, oh yeah, we know about God already. God, we've been in relationship with him the whole time. We never sinned to begin with. It's like kind of asks an interesting question. What if we're the only ones in need of baptism, and the aliens don't need it because they don't sin? They could have an intellect and a will and not be fallen. I guess that's theoretically possible. We don't really know for sure. And the other insight that C.S. Lewis gives us in the next book is he has his character's journey to Venus. And at that point, life is just starting on Venus, intelligent life. And what God has made is people in human form. And what was sort of revealed, the aliens on Mars looked totally different, totally crazy. But when he got to Venus, they were brand new. It was sort of like the Adam and Eve of Venus. And they looked like humans, pretty much. And what he realized is that now that God has taken human form, now that Jesus has come among us, all future life is going to look like that, is going to look like Jesus. So some people will say, oh, if aliens appeared, if we found intelligent life out there, then that would disprove the Christian message. They'd quote things like early belief of scientists early on in the church that the Earth was the center of the solar system or the center of the whole universe. And they'd say, see how wrong we are. We're just an insignificant speck off in the corner. It doesn't matter at all. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Because we know from looking at the universe, from studying it, from beginning to understand it in ways we never have before, that the universe is profoundly, precisely designed. That things are in place the way they need to be. Everything's lined up for life to happen, for the universe to work exactly the way it has to for us to be here. And we see ourselves and any other intelligent life that might be out there as the pinnacle of God's creation, not because we're in a geographic center of anything or because we're the only intelligent life by necessity, because we're like God. Because we have that intellect and will, we're made in His image, and He has entrusted the created world to us in order to guide it, to take care of it, to be His stewards here on earth, working in His stead. Far from disproving Christianity, intelligent aliens, would show that maybe God's created world is bigger than we understood. Maybe there's more for us to do and further for us to go than we really imagined there would be. And that's something really incredible. The other thing to keep in mind, some people will look at the size of the universe that we're beginning to understand and say, it's impossible that there's no other created life out there. And if you believe in God, how could you limit Him and say that there's nothing else out there, that He would make all of this just for us? I would say maybe that's true. Maybe that makes sense that there's life out there. God's unlimited. So could He make even an infinitely large universe, or the universe of the scale that we see for just us? Sure. Could He make galaxies trillions of miles away, knowing that we might never reach them, but just to be a beautiful speck of light in the sky? Absolutely. So whether He made it just for us, or whether He made us to help share His message to countless intelligent species out there, the message still stands true. We, you and I, are made in God's image and likeness. We have intellect and will. We're able to know the good and choose the good, whether we're interacting with our friends down the block or E.T. visiting from a galaxy far, far away. And finally, the most important thing. We can say it's amazing that God might have made this whole universe for just us, humanity, but He loves you personally enough to have made the whole universe for you. He loves you personally enough to have died on the cross just for you, if you were the only one who would have benefited from it. And that is an amazing thought. And that's something that our ever-increasing understanding of the universe should make ever more amazing. That God would do all this just for you or just for me. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we hope to see you next time. God bless. One to beam up.